Deep within the bowels of the ancient video store, there lived a place filled with terror. That place lives on in the back corner.
Welcome back to the corner. I am your fearless leader, Zach, along with my carnivorous co-hosts,
Rachel,
Brad,
and we are finally discussing 2004's Suburban Nightmare, written by John Keyes and Debbie Rochon, which I think is how you say her name. It was directed by John Keyes. The plot synopsis for this film says, outwardly stable Charles Rosenblad and his short-tempered wife Deborah seem like your average suburban couple. However, they are actually lethal and insane serial killers with serious marital problems.
Amen, brother. Preach.
Everything comes to a head one fateful night in which the twisted twosome realize...
Twisted.
I love alliteration.
Twosome.
The love has gone out of their relationship and they subsequently turn on each other. I think that makes this movie sound a lot better than it actually was.
but that perfectly still describes it.
Yeah, whoever wrote that, was that on the back of the DVD?
No, it says pretty much almost. There's some, like any married couple, Charles and Deborah are not the picture of wedded bliss, and Miss Rampages of bloodthirsty cruelty. They begin to question their love and devotion to one another, and soon these serial killers are at each other's throats, poised for gruesome revenge and prepared to take their bloodlust to a new sadistic heights.
Assume these what? Wait, where?
It's right there. I just read the whole back paragraph.
Assume...
It was not gruesome at all. There was very little.
Yeah,
There
I
was
honestly,
very little, yeah.
I did expect it to be very gory and bloody, because it, for the surprise factor kind of thing. Like, a lot of movies like this that are like, okay, we don't have much going for us, we might as well make it bloody. But I'm guessing it was so low budget that...
it's incredibly low budget.
Yeah.
So since we've got it in front of us, tell us about the box art here, Rachel.
Alright, so we got a man in a suit, a very triangular man, and a woman in a horribly photoshopped red dress. Literally looked like she cut it out of a bedsheet. Holding hands with human baloney on their faces.
Kind of like that dog from the Bye Bye Man. Or like that picture of that dog, that meme of making fun of burn victims, but the dog just has a piece of ham on its face.
Oh gosh, I've seen
That's
that.
basically what these people look like on this cover.
And honestly, we didn't even notice till after the movie was over, because it's the same picture on the title screen in the movie itself. After the credits rolled and it went back to the title screen, we noticed how badly photoshopped it was, that they didn't crop it well enough, and at the bottom of her dress, she has no legs.
She has no legs. She's just floating.
She's literally floating like a ghost. They didn't even have a whole dress to put on her. It was cut in half.
I literally don't think. Well, I don't know. There's even shitty
you know what it
people
reminds me
faces
of?
in
That
the
dress
cover
reminds me of
art.
when the Grinch, in the cartoon movie, the Grinch was cutting out his suit. How jagged and edgy that was.
You're a mean one, Mrs. Psychopath.
Yes,
You really are shit.
And I'm assuming these are not even the actors.
No, I don't think that they are.
No,
it looks like they're heads, but I don't think that's actually them.
I literally think that amongst all the Photoshop, because the shitty human faces are Photoshopped on.
Oh yeah, they're really bad.
But I think they just took a generic picture and then they
use a stock image.
I think it's just a stock image, and then they took pictures of their faces and put them on the damn things, and then Photoshop shitty human mask on there. This is great. When you know that all your editing and shit can be done in Photoshop, you can work miracles.
And she must have been really short, because her torso is twice as long as it should be. It's very...
They stretch her out.
It is though.
We can't have you being a hobbit.
Her weight, her hip line and the top of her chest is like 5 feet tall. It's really terrifying.
Since moving past the box art into the actual opening thing, it starts playing like a shitty song you wouldn't expect.
Actually,
it's
no,
it's
the
not
title
jazz.
sequence is like a Wild West
Yeah,
film.
I thought we were getting ready to watch a western. I was there. It's like, and I was just like, is he gonna like walk in? But I'm the husband.
And this is a theme that continues throughout the whole movie. None of the music matches the scenes.
Yeah,
very well.
yeah, that's true. So, judging from the box art alone, would you have watched this film if you hadn't had to do it for this?
If I was gonna get if something like I suggest, well, you do this for all shitty movies, but if you were gonna get like blitzed out of your mind and you just wanted something to fucking laugh
Actually,
at,
yeah, that would be a perfect.
Yeah.
this is the category where just like, this seems not gross. I'll watch that. It's stupid.
And honestly, well, it seems like I've mentioned I don't really like cannibalism and I don't like gore just for the gore, so I definitely wouldn't watch it unless like I had an empty stomach. Well, actually, drunk and empty stomach.
It's not even that bad.
And the makeup, the quote unquote makeup effects in this movie were not good. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So this movie stars Trent Haga, I think is how you say his name, as Charles, who has very little credits to his name that are notable. He was Killjoy in the Killjoy series from part 2 through like part 4, I think. They made like 4 of those movies. I don't know much about the Killjoy series. I've seen some of them when they were on Netflix, and all I know is there's like a big rig truck involved somehow, but I don't know anything else outside of that because it looked terrible. He was also the star of Toxic Avenger 4 from Troma Movies, and he was on Troma Edge TV. I'm not 100% certain on what that is. That was another product that Troma made. Brandy Little stars as Deborah, and she had absolutely no notable roles when I looked her up. I mean, she's been in some stuff, but it's like nothing.
To be fair,
role.
they acted pretty legit in this.
Yeah, I really bought them as a couple that was having problems with
Which
each other.
I liked how in the opening you could tell like it was almost like a role reversal because he was the one cooking dinner and like complaining. She was the one going out and like, oh, I forgot to do this, blah blah blah.
They were very very civil. Like the whole movie, I sat there. I was like, these are the most civil fucking nut jobs ever. That's pretty much why they haven't been caught, because they're just like, oh, we're gonna fucking kill the guy, but.
Besides some of the ridiculous dialogue, their fights were actually kind of realistic.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
To the point where it kind of reflected on us, and I'm just like looking over at Brad while we're watching the movie, like, please don't think
the woman was the aggressor.
Well, that's kind of our relationship.
It's definitely troubling when you look at movie serial killers and think, I'm like them. No. Like all those people who are getting sex hot over Ted Bundy lately.
I won't even go into that.
They need help.
That's a whole nother topic.
So the couple of fun facts that I found about this movie. It was shot in 9 days. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Really?
They had like one set for the whole movie, and it was the house.
Well,
You could tell.
It was all one day, though.
Yeah, that too.
It was the whole thing happened in one day. Not even one day, one night.
It did, and it like felt like forever.
Yeah.
But it was just one short amount of time.
One evening.
That's how you type a paper in college, just bullshit.
So Debbie Rochon, who wrote the film specifically for her. I'm sorry. Let's see. Okay, they're not married. She wrote the film specifically for John Keyes to direct, with herself in mind for the role of Deborah. But she suffered an accident on set and was unable to work on the film.
Wait, an accident on set?
Yeah, that's all it said. I think she like tripped and hurt her ankle or something is what I remember.
I was about to say, like...
Well, considering how low budget it is, they probably used a lot of like duct tape and like...
The whole thing was held together.
Just like a lot of like 2x4s kind of stapled together. And...
You look over and be like, oh, I accidentally actually stabbed myself because we couldn't afford it. We couldn't afford it.
I can't be in the movie now.
We couldn't afford fake knives, we went to Goodwill and bought knives.
Yeah, we went to Goodwill and bought like giveaway knives. Oh, did anyone else
clean these? Yeah.
Is this a real gun?
There's a child on set.
That's a blank, right? Yeah.
Oh God help that child's acting career.
I don't want another Brandon Lee on my set. That's tragic, and I shouldn't make fun of that.
Oh God.
Okay, so the movie one of the things I hate about this movie, and one of the things I hate about a lot of the movies that I've done for this show, and are probably going to keep finding for it, There are no subtitles for this movie. I can't stand that there are no subtitles for this movie because that helps me track the dialogue and all the other dumb shit that happens in the movies. And I like to have the subtitles. It helps me. There's no subtitles in this movie, and I hate that. So, considering the fact it is February 10th, I haven't watched this movie since July or August. My notes are all of my thoughts and ideas that I had while I was watching this movie. I'm not going to remember like any of these.
Surprise notes.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's get into it. The film opens with someone reading over the opening credits. It sounds like poetry. It's about dreams and stuff, from what my notes have.
And stuff.
Yeah, and stuff. We then see our main characters talking about the first time they met in a sepia tone.
That's
the flashback.
Yeah, the flashback.
It's like, oh, we recount how much we love each other, and then like, so the first time they're talking, the poetry goes into that, like the first time how they met or whatever, and then it's just like, oh, it's like a nice couple talking about a date, and then like almost near the end, like 2 lines, they go, and that's when we bashed her fucking brains in, and I was like.
But I remember the most, this was sepia, however you say it, that the most. It's like, this does not fit. Like, it's the theme for the whole movie. It does not fit.
Yeah.
Why did they choose this filter?
Yeah.
Because it does not. I mean, kind of think if you had the Wild West music, that would work with the sepia. But it doesn't work. I hate it. I hate it so much.
I mean, like, if you can convey flashbacks without having to use a lot of fancy imagery. Like, you can even... Yeah, you can,
and that's another PowerPoint credit transition. That's what I wrote down after sepia intro.
You can do the dream waves. You can have, like, the edges of the screen blurred. When I write flashbacks or dreams and stuff in my comic scripts, that's usually what I have in my
But something just did
panel
not click with
descriptions.
this.
Yeah, so, like, you don't have to have your stuff in black and white or black and yellow. There are other ways to do it.
Yellow, black and yellow.
Damn it.
I love you so much.
You don't have to do that, but they decided to do that.
It just, I don't know what it was. It just did not fit. I think maybe just the combination of effects and music and non-music they used together. Because that was another huge point. They had such weird, hokey music, and at other points it just cut out and there was no music at all.
I got here the credits fade in and out on title cards in this wavy style that looks like it belongs in a movie set by the sea, not in the suburbs. They then discuss whether or not Charles wanted kids and if he wants more, why he loves Deborah. 2 minutes in and already this is the most boring shit ever.
I know, and all I wrote was highly sexualized couple, and it's like, that's all that
Dude,
matters.
it was!
Because they were very like, oh yeah, you want another kid? Do you remember the first time we met?
Not to mention, we'll get there.
Do you remember our first time?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Remember our first time? And then you're just like, oh, okay, this is nice. And then you're like, and then they slit her throat. And I was just like, whoa! Which also answers like the question, because I said there's like, how do these two fuck nuts meet each other? Like, you said, is he like in the middle of like stabbing somebody? He's like, you want some?
Well, if you want to be
You
highly
look across the room?
accurate, if you want to,
You're into this?
they see each other across the room, their eyes meet while there's like carving a person.
They're like killing each other at the same time with like, dude, this is my alley. Fuck.
Who are you stabbing?
Oh, I didn't realize. No, but like, to be highly accurate, at least there are, threads. I mean, this was 2004, but there are threads online about cannibalism and consensual murder and things like that. It's a real thing.
That
so
seems
it
like an
could be.
oxymoron. Consensual murder.
Hey,
Consensual cannibalism.
I mean, I got nothing going on this weekend. Would you mind if I fucking killed you?
It's like meet up for the dark web.
I would love to watch your skull explode out of the back of your head. That would just, I can't describe how much that would make me happy.
Hey, John, I gotta ask you a question.
Shut the fuck up. But the best parts was when they're like, yeah, take off my penis and eat it and cook it. Like, that's an actual
Oh, yeah.
I've listened to too many podcasts and documentaries about that shit. Like,
There is a show on HBO called Room 104. It's basically the Twilight Zone in one hotel room. It's not like the greatest thing I've ever seen, but it's a pretty cool show. and some of the executive producers interacted with me on Twitter, so that was cool.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah, after I watched, one of the guys, I can't remember his name now, one of the guys from 90210 was in an episode, and he turns on this, like, festival country music and starts doing this, like, real threatening, like, jig dance to it.
Wait, how is that threatening, though?
It was, you have to see it, it was just like, he's about to stab me to death. There's nothing I can do about it.
Oh, it's like American Psycho where he's, like, dancing to, what the fuck's the band?
Goodbye, home.
No, that's, okay, that works, but that's not what I was talking about.
I love that song.
I know.
That's a great song.
Huey Lewis in the News,
Yeah.
where he's dancing and it's like,
Yep.
he's about to fucking murder him. It's
Yeah,
the same kind
exactly.
of thing.
Yeah, same kind of idea. Okay, so I put here, they started talking about their first time, and they meant the first time they killed someone. I have that in all caps. I was very
It
shocked
should have
by
been
this.
obvious, honestly, when you're looking at that, but like it just, when you think of first time, you don't right away, because you're not a fucking serial killer, you don't think right away the first time you killed someone. You think of the sex, but it was probably a combination, honestly.
Yeah, they probably had some real hot loving after that murder. And I put the line in my notes here. When you sliced her throat and that blood drained down all over my hands, oh honey, it was orgasmic.
I know, and that word
Gross.
just is like,
Gross.
I can imagine that being used, but again, it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Or when it drained out. That's like a poetic, when you're reading a book and you hear that and it's like, that's not actual dialogue.
By the way, they are fucking insane. A little bit.
Yeah.
But somehow so normal.
Yeah, very normal.
Now that that's over, we see Charles grinding up some meat for dinner, where we can also see the killing hammer that they used on the counter. What the hell is that talking about?
I didn't even see,
I didn't see that.
I thought it was like a meat tenderizer thing. I thought it was like a tenderizer hammer.
It might have been.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't
But
remember
then-
this at all. What am I talking about?
I mean, I see the cutting board and I see the piece of meat, and I literally wrote, "Oh fuck, is that a person?"
Yep.
Yeah, she
Person.
did. She
Because
called
I
it.
called it because it looked like hips.
Yeah.
It looked like hips. So I'm like, "Oh fuck, is that a person?" Because I mean, I kind of saw it coming. So
I got the big twist of the movie. Like, a pretty good ways through, I was like, is that what happened to this? Is that what's going on? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait.
yeah, we'll
and
get
then,
to that
yeah.
point because I kind of we'll get there. Yeah.
Because this movie, like, you know, a couple of times it's going this way and then it throws you.
Yeah,
across.
actually, there's a couple things
it's
that
weird.
actually got me.
Let's see. Deborah comes in from the store. They start discussing boring household stuff like normal people. Oh no, they're having guests, and Deborah forgot. She wants to cancel, but it's too late.
I don't remember.
Deborah's wearing like Juicy or some shit.
Well, again, it was 2004.
She's
Yeah.
like wearing like trailer trash white mom fucking
no, this was
bullshit
the
clothes.
normal up for this year.
Yeah, no, but the woman's like 40 and she's wearing
She's
like
not. Well-
22-year-old like slut on her fucking chest.
Probably no bra and all that, which again was normal. But like,
it came from Walmart.
did we discuss this in the recording? I was like, I thought it was an interesting role reversal, honestly, especially for a horror movie.
Yeah, we brought that up before the.
It was before. Yeah, the man is cooking and like, oh honey, did you remember this thing? And she's like, fuck no, and forgetting things, and she's the one out running errands.
This
and-
dinner is very important to me, Deborah.
She's pissed off about for the guests, and she huffs off to change. Charles takes a look into the shopping bag and finds a pregnancy test. And in the scene on the counter, we can also see a missing person on a milk carton. Could that be a hint? Was that a hint? I don't remember.
No, as though because they have like a fight before like stuff progresses. He's like, because he's like, shit. And then so like my instant thought was because they at this point they've made it clear that they have a daughter or something.
And that she wants another kid.
And that she wants another kid. And he's like, no, it's not for me, Charles. And then I sat there and I was just like, so it's either for the daughter or someone that they have in the basement.
Well, the thing is, they never go back to
Those
the
poor
pregnancy
basement
test.
people.
Because she specifically says, it's not for me. And it's like, well, then who is it for? Because then I made the connection when they mentioned the daughter, like, is it for the daughter? Holy shit.
Did they not go back to the pregnancy
Not
test?
really.
No, they really don't mention it again about anything. And it's like, I don't understand the point here. Was one of the women pregnant? Was the daughter pregnant? Or was it just something they meant to go back to and forgot about?
Yeah.
That's possible. I mean, you shoot a movie in 9 days, you're probably going to forget something.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few things like that, so, and I think I have.
We fade to black, and when we come back, Deborah is setting up the table. She's all pissy. They start bickering about why she hadn't told him about the baby. But don't worry, Charlie, she isn't pregnant. The doorbell rings and it's dinner time. See, I don't even remember what the hell I'm talking about right here.
That just like that's the birth control test we just talked about.
Not pregnancy test.
Yeah, pregnancy test. Birth
Yeah, and
control
they're
test.
all mad about it, and then the husband's sitting there talking, and he's embarrassing her, and I'm just like, why is this?
Yeah, he's
so
just picking.
familiar?
He's just picking stuff, and then like.
Yeah, because he's now pissed off, and now he wants to pick at her, and like it seems so normal.
And then it's funny.
And then I'm just wrote like something's off with the images and angles. I don't know what it is. I don't know enough about movie making and about the whole rules of angles and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But there's just something weird about how they shoot it. I don't know what it is.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, and also it's got like.
I don't know, because sometimes I pay attention to that, and it's like, it feels so off. Or like in a normal movie, they have all these. Maybe it's just they keep one angle for so long instead of actually like shooting it like an action.
Yeah.
Like they're having action. Yeah, that's what I have about that.
I've got some dialogue right here. This is delicious. What's in it? And I put people. It's people.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Pepperidge Farm.
And then dude says, well, I'd tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
And he was very like, I would tell you, but I'd have to kill you. And he meant it obviously joking, but obviously real.
Yeah,
but
he
it
was
was
serious.
like, it was very.
You're already fucking dead.
Yeah, you're done. You were
would
done
think
when you
he'd
walked
be
through
a
the
little
door.
more normal because people obviously say that as a joke, which is
Yeah.
so overused. I hate that.
Yeah.
But he says it very convincingly.
Yeah, and then he laughs and he's like, it's a secret recipe. And I put Soylent Green is on the menu. And it's here at the dinner that we learn Deborah is a recovering alcoholic. She is 1 year sober. She's a quitter. She almost killed their kid in a drunk driving accident. Yeah. So the dinner guests, Mr. Sims is a sociology professor who in his spare time is studying serial killers and their effect on the community. Because of course he is, right?
They're all. I was
And
about to.
he does talk about, though, how they had an experiment
Mm-hmm.
where they...
No one gave a shit until they
Yeah,
started
I mean, they
having.
pretended like they were, and there was so much, and it's like, I feel like in real life that wouldn't be a thing. And obviously it continues for the rest of the movie, because they...
Have you seen actual
Nothing-
shitty city neighborhoods? No one gives a fuck.
You haven't, you're from the fucking country, yo.
It's still the same. I lived in actually a suburban place. Like no one gives a shit until you hear people going like ah and shooting guns.
It just depends, because I've been listening to...
Even shooting guns, we're like ah.
Yeah, who cares?
I have been binging a murder podcast at work, so I'm kind of relating some of this. And it just, I think sometimes it depends because there is that mob mentality, but also I think people have more fucking common sense to be like, they're carrying trash bags that are leaking blood.
Yeah, but a lot of the time people are like,
just
someone else will take care of that.
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah,
care.
I mean there are times, it's so weird because I think it just depends on the situation, but they drag that, I think, experiment out so much that I feel like someone would have caught that beforehand.
Yeah.
But again, it's just a theme for the whole movie. They kind of not very silently kind of just predicted the rest,
Right. So the experiment that they were talking about, it simulated odd behavior with a guy bringing home chainsaws, firing them up at night, women coming into his home, and then he drives their cars away and walks back home on his own. And ends with him digging graves in his yard and filling them with garbage bags leaking fake blood. All in plain sight of the neighborhood, and nobody called the police until the lights incident where there were 2 charges of domestic disturbance because I think they said he had floodlights out in the yard or something, and they were super bright or something.
They styled the domestic when they started actually having people scream for help and shit.
Yeah, and they someone banging on the door several times and...
So Charles ruins the night after this by telling the story of when Deb tried to organize a neighborhood watch team and the house next door was robbed during the meeting. They were having the neighborhood watch meeting and the house next door was robbed. And
which isn't even that funny.
No.
To me, it's just one of those jokes that you obviously tell at a dinner party, and it's not funny.
It's like, it's
not
funny to you, but oh, wow. That sucks.
Yeah.
It's almost like cliche.
Why are you telling us this?
It's very much
This
a
isn't
cliche.
a cool story.
Irony, cliche, oh, we're having this meeting and someone got robbed. It's not funny.
It's like when I tell people about my dick surgery.
It's
Nobody
not
wants to hear
good.
about that.
And currently...
That happened. That was a thing. I had to do that.
I wonder how much you're going to hear our
Oh, that
cats
was
in the
horrible.
background.
You can hear my cats all the time. I don't care.
Oh, there they go.
Yeah, one of them just took a shit in a litter box. And
Yeah!
now they're
It's just what we need on this horror movie podcast.
Talking about cat shit today.
All right, let's go.
We're not very far from the living room. Oh yeah, and then the couple were What did they mention something about? Like, are we gonna do this?
No, they're the couple like thought they were at like a swinging, so they
Well,
were
that's
like,
what
yeah.
They never specifically said that, but I'm like,
No.
the way they're talking makes it sound like, because I have.
They said they were like, we're gonna keep it down. I was like, you guys, so normal
that's what it
eating
was.
for you is so fucking come over to somebody's house, eat dinner, and then fuck.
Yeah.
And
Because
they're,
they mentioned
like,
the daughter, and they're like, "Oh, are we gonna be able to do this?" And I'm like, "Are they swingers? Are they
Yeah.
willing participants of gore sex? Like, do they know about the murder shit? Are they mutual serial killers?" That's what I was thinking. Like, I mean, do they
That
know
would
they're
have been awesome.
I know,
like,
that's what I
better
was
movie.
like both couples were actually serial killers, and
Yeah.
like they had the intention to kill each other, and then the
Or,
whole
like,
movie is them like going through the night trying to kill each other
or have
off.
some weird fucking orgy foursome of gore, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either one of those would be great. This was one of the first, and I think this was the first instance where I thought this was a porn. I thought I bought a porn
Yeah.
and I'm watching a porn now.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
that
not
would
what I
have
meant
actually
to
made
do
the
in the
plot very
show.
interesting if you had another couple. Who
Well,
were
when you
serial
open
killers.
it up and it fucking has Blockbuster on the
Yeah,
inside.
yeah,
that
that's
is
true.
true.
Yeah. Thanks, Blockbuster.
And like the DVD kind of looks like the people's faces. It's missing pieces.
Well, see, I got this from the arcade when I worked there,
Mm-hmm.
and because we covered DVDs too, and it had one of those. We had to pull stickers off of discs and cases and
Oh,
stuff like
yeah.
that, and that was one of those that just like ripped part of the cover art off, and I'm like, great, that's probably gonna ruin this movie. Fortunately or unfortunately, it didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was afraid to stick it in my Xbox.
I was too.
I sat
yeah,
there
you
and
did
I was
mention that.
I was like, if this fucking ruins my Xbox.
Yeah, I was worried about that too, but it's all good.
But I don't know what at this point, after I had written about the swinging and the gore sex, whatever, I wrote "husband is Shaggy?" ? I don't know what brought that on.
The cartoon or the hip hop singer?
Oh no,
cartoon.
the Scooby Doo version of Shaggy.
Yeah, the main dude looks like shit. Like Scoob, we gotta kill these people.
There was something that was like, why does he remind me of Shaggy? Why does he look like Shaggy?
Because he's a lanky.
And I don't know what brought it on at
Motherfucker.
that point specifically that I just wrote "husband is Shaggy."
Yeah. All right, going on. Movie plot.
Okay, so here we have. So after the neighborhood watch meeting debacle, we have Charlie and Deb meeting in the kitchen. She agrees to cool down a little bit because she's been very upset at him telling that story. And she goes to check on their kid Becky. Their kid's name was Becky.
Yeah, I know, that's the most generic kid name.
She's sleeping in their room because it's quieter, so they can have loud fun at dinner. I put. See, I did think this was porn, yeah. And like,
But there's no way that room is soundproof either.
no, and like at the same time, if you're planning to murder, okay, so not giving anything away yet, we are to understand that their child is sleeping at their home right now.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you bring two people into your house to kill when your child is at home?
And there's, from all the fighting, you would think the child would have come out more and been like, "Mommy,
Yeah.
Daddy, why
Yeah.
are you fighting?" Like,
No.
they fight so loud.
it's-
And they make it sound like their room is soundproof somehow. And
It's psychos. They could have soundproof it and sit there and be like, all right, so this is our like safe room. We're gonna keep the kid. They're playing around it. Especially if the kid's like, she is older. She's like 10 or 13
yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah, somewhere.
So they're just like, they've had it for like a number of years. So they're probably like, okay, the kid's sentient enough to realize we're murdering people. Put her in the safe room.
yeah, I know.
Like,
We just don't talk about it.
There's no way the kid would not have found out at this point.
Mommy, Daddy, why are you covered in viscera and gore? Oh.
We're just
We
cooking.
were having a party. So it looks like a fun party.
It's Halloween every day, dear.
Did you just get
Come eat some of Jared. I mean meatloaf.
Oh. Well, it could be Meatloaf, the singer.
Shut up.
I just watched Rocky Horror.
We're feeling like dining high on the hog. We're having a celebrity for dinner tonight.
That would be perfect, though.
Jimmy
That
Fallon tastes amazing.
That would be like their Valentine's date, though.
Alright, so as Deb, I guess, because I put as she sits down, I think it was Deb, sits down at a makeup table, we cut to
yeah.
a shot of all the photos that are slipped into the mirror frame, mostly of their child, except for the one of a woman who is panicking,
Yes!
wearing a bit gag. Does their kid know about this shit?
I know, that's what
I
we
was
saw that and like, is that? Is
Like, does the
that?
kid never question, like, walk up and be like, look at this kinky BDSM picture?
Yeah, why is this next to me on your picture wall, mommy? What the hell?
It's like their kids looking through their drawers for something and finds their condoms right now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay, alright, I'll just...
Put these
Yeah, just go ahead and... go find something else to do. And at this point, I noticed there was a gun lying on the table.
I did not notice that.
And I didn't, because the kid's in that room.
Yeah.
So, like, they have a picture of a panicking, tied-up woman and a gun on the same table in the room where their child is at. And I'm like, I know y'all are serial killers, but please tell me you're better parents than this shit.
And pill bottles. There's a bunch of pill
Yeah,
bottles.
there's a bunch of pills. There's a
bottles.
bunch of meds there.
That makes a
Which
lot of
I
sense.
don't know if they're for mental or for beauty, because I feel like she's one of those women that are like, I want to have a baby, but I'm getting to the point where, like, I can't. I gotta look young and all that stuff. That's why I think, I was thinking it was the mother going through menopause. Did she get a pregnancy test? Which it wouldn't tell menopause, but, like, to be like, oh, I'm not pregnant, I'm going through menopause. That's why she wouldn't get her period. She also, she had a picture with Becky, and she was tracing over the stomach. And that's why I was like, is Becky pregnant?
Pregnant Becky.
Which is the fucking weirdest, obviously the weirdest thing, because she's like 10 years old.
I mean, well, it's like a fucked up movie anyway.
That's
So
why
I was like, I was waiting for
the whole
this whole movie. I was waiting for like the shock, and it never came.
Yeah. So, also on the table, there's what looks like a picture of a woman with a bloody and busted face in one of those 5x7 folding frames next to their kid.
I did not notice that. Yeah, it was
No,
kind of... Like,
there was
really,
a picture of. Well,
unless
we'll wait till we
pause
get
it,
there.
you can really observe the whole thing.
Yeah.
We didn't pause that, obviously.
You shouldn't focus too much on
Yeah,
this.
we did.
I have 6 pages of notes about this thing. That's way too much.
It is.
So, Becky's sick. She's going to stay in bed so as not to sicken the company. Deb leaves, and when she comes back, the guests are lying face down on the table while Charlie eats. They're dead. They're dead now. And Deborah's pissed because she wanted to kill them too. and now they're dead.
No, they weren't
Well,
quite dead.
Yeah, that's what I had in my notes. Like, they're dead. He already went ahead and killed them, and they're dead. Fortunately, that's not what happened.
Like, they will be in like 5 minutes.
So now we're seeing marital problems on display. Like, real, normal problems.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I had written down. I literally wrote, I can tell it is meant to be comedic that they are fighting like a couple with just plain marital issues, but with murder. Seems off and not really funny, though. There's no background music. At that point, that's where I noted there's no background music. It's not funny. It feels off. It makes it feel like your friends that are couples are fighting in front of you.
Deborah, are you gonna eat? So you gonna sit down and eat some of your dessert? It's
And
good
then that's
tiramisu.
like, did he poison her dessert? And that's what I was thinking.
Well, because yeah. All right, Like they
go for it.
Like they because he said like, so how'd you do it? And he's just like, well, I put some of the whatever special on top of the dessert.
His special poisoning and stuff. Like that's his specialty. Apparently.
And then she's like, I forgot they were coming. Like she gets pissed because she wanted to do it. And by the way, her level of murder is way more violent than his.
If she wanted to bash their heads in with a bat, and he's like, that's so, old-fashioned. Can you try something new?
Well, she was, like, pissed that she, like, the generic way. She's like, poison? That's really original, Charles. And I was like, that's not messy and smart. And
well, but it's still toxicology, though. You can
True.
find it.
Yeah, but
It depends on the poison, too.
at the same, like, so many corpses are made in the course of, like, this happens in one night in like 5 hours, and there's just like so many people.
They did. They killed a lot of people.
They did.
Let's see. And now the dirty work starts. Deb leaves to get saws while Charles lays out a bunch of plastic. They showed the hard work of a murder, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just, we're going to go kill these people now. No.
No.
There's a lot of cleanup and shit that goes into this.
We got to get rid of evidence. We got to make sure it doesn't stain the carpet. Which, by the way, they were like, even though they're psychopaths, they're still really concerned about, like, their house is nice.
Yeah, it is.
How do they afford this shit? Like, they're like, murdering is like their hobby. But
what is their day job?
Yeah, like their house is nice. Their shit is nice. All their
They have a normal couple marriage house.
They invited like normal, like, well, not normal, but they invited higher class people like
for a
doctors
nice
and
dinner
shit.
date.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. This is just like, oh, come over here. We're not gonna
the
fucking.
fuck is their day
yeah,
job?
I was like,
It's got to be something kind of, low key, maybe, you would think, because they're fucking murderers.
don't piss Charles off. So hey Jeff, you want to come over to dinner? I need a promotion.
Although he's very, he is like that, though. He's very calm. He's very collected for, again, being a murderer.
Yep. We had this friend when I was in high school. He was in my brother's grade, but I was friends with him too. and like his family was always very, very well off, and we were always super confused because I think his mom was a school teacher, but like his dad was the main earner in the house, and we were always, nobody ever had any idea what he did. And he would never tell us what he did, so we just assumed he worked for the government.
Yeah.
And was doing some like super sketchy shit for the government.
It's possible.
Jeff, don't open the closet. Why? E.T.'s fucking in there. I'm keeping him in there until he fucking talks.
It's
all right?
my weekend with the alien, alright?
Surrounded by stuffed
He's
animals.
bound and gagged, and I swear to God, if he touches you with the glowy finger, I don't want to write another report on this.
You don't want to see what's going to happen to you, okay?
Last 12 guys got bug eyes and shit.
I'm never going to not see that.
E.T.'s fingering buttholes.
E.T. make your glow.
Wait, make you what?
Glow. Because
Oh,
you got
glow.
glowy fingers, stick that right up in there.
I'm horrified.
Immediate fucking orgasm. Yeah. Anyway.
Deb leaves to go get the saw as Charles lays out the plastic. And we cut to Deb in a dirty, old, grody ass room, as I have written here. Some of the best descriptive work I think I've ever done.
It is a shithole.
And this movie just got a little better. In the middle of the room is a small platform with a post. There's a young woman who is bound on the platform wearing a collar and a small piece of steel cable tethering her to the post. And she's wearing a washcloth as a gag. There's nothing holding it in. She's just biting down on it, which I thought was weird. Until Deb goes to grab it and tells her, I didn't say release. Leading me to believe this girl has to hold it on her own or they will kill her. Deb gives her some water to drink from her hand, which was hot, and she decides that's enough to go over. When she decides that's enough, she goes over to the wall and grabs a hacksaw. The wall has faces on it, so there's that.
Shitty baloney plastic faces. You forgot, and pictures. By the way, I want to say this before we even get there. During the credits, they show the pictures there. There's one picture with this dude who's over like a corpse, and he's like smiling and like this. And I was like, at some point, like, so this makes no sense because here's Jeff, and he's like, I'm okay being here.
He looks like he's one of those dads at a barbecue standing over the grill, like thumbs up, like.
And you can see it on the wall, like you see all these pictures of like fucked up people, like horribly murdered, and then you have just have like Jeffro sitting there, like
Most of the pictures.
This guy's fucking dead, but I'm okay with it. I'm the producer.
He
Probably was, yeah.
Most of the pictures are actually kind of decent. Like, they went behind the scenes, all the cast was like, I want to dress up and get fucked up looking.
Yeah,
but
probably.
My notes were, the torture room was not very well put together.
No.
It was dank and gory and bloody, and it literally just looked like, because we worked at Halloween Haunt, it looked like a maze that was put together.
Yeah,
because it looks like, and you had Slaughterhouse, which is how it sounds, and I was in there a couple nights, and it looks fine from a distance. When you look up close, you can tell obviously it's handmade stuff and not very scary.
Yeah, when it's dark and we have the effects lights and shit going on, it's great. It's super cool.
That was the first time I went through that house.
The blood was like
you turn the lights on, and like all of the like props and like animatronics and stuff that we have are really, really bad.
Kind of bad. Yeah, there was a tarp that was hanging from a ceiling that was supposed to be kind of like a curtain almost, and there was obviously people drip blood down it. The blood had like kind of peeled off a little bit, so it was just hanging by itself.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you would love that.
Let's see. Wall faces. Deb notices an open cage, asks where someone else is, and the girl on the post freaks out and says that the man came and took her, alluding to Charlie. And Deb is even more pissed. We cut...
The cage had like litter and shit in it.
Yeah.
They're like keeping these girls as pets.
Yeah, it was horrible.
It's like, I was like, okay, the movie did get a little bit better because like, all right, that's actually like a fucking nut thing.
Yeah, like if they're gonna be serial killers, show me some psychos.
Yeah, it shows her true psycho side because she is fucked up.
And then that girl, like the girls are like, that one girl was like, you have to think like she was so like fucking scared and tortured at that point that she was like, I cannot disobey this fucking psycho.
Yeah. And she sold him out, so that's good for her.
Yeah.
So back in the kitchen, Deb asks where the new girl is. Charles responds, in the spaghetti.
Yeah.
Deb opens the pot and she says, what the fuck is she doing in the spaghetti?
What? No, it's more like, what the fuck is she doing in the spaghetti, Charles? Where's the rest of her?
Where's the rest of her?
And then Charles goes, in the freezer, Deborah? And
Like,
she
of course.
opens it up, and there's like a shitty bologna face frozen inside a bag and a hand.
Which I wanted to talk about that because again, I've been listening to murder podcasts,
Yeah,
and
go for
the
it.
stuff in the freezer is not very well hidden. First of all,
Nope.
because there's that face.
Mommy, I'm gonna get some ice cream. Face falls out.
But how well organized they are, and how well apparently they hide shit because the police have not fucking knocked at their door except for a domestic damn dispute. They have a fucking face sitting there, so it's like, are they narcissistic? Do they want to see the face? There's like a smear of blood in the freezer for effect, like in all the wrapped meat. Like they would have cleaned that up.
Yeah.
So do they want to see this shit?
Honey, I want some leftovers. Puts a hand on the table. You want a
Starts
thumb?
filleting it.
Yeah,
Cook me some shallots.
they clean up well, but at the same time they don't. There's so much like that basement. If that was found, it's not like you can hide that shit.
Yeah, they are kind of like backward ass serial killers in that they do a really good job of keeping themselves from getting caught.
Mm-hmm.
They take care of their home in preparation of murder
Yes.
for cleanup and stuff. But then like they have the rape basement and the all of the parts in the freezer. So like it's
And it's just in their kitchen, like not even in a basement or anything.
Yeah.
It's just their kitchen freezer.
yeah, just like
And
on
they
top
have
of the
nothing else in it.
fridge.
Yeah.
Just the normal freezer. That's
They don't have a microwavable meal like some lean cuisine or shit.
They had a microwavable meal.
Was there?
Yeah,
Well, okay.
no, I meant like people. You just open it up and you're like, you want some liver?
No, that's not. Yeah, you don't put that shit in the microwave. You put that in the oven, bitch.
oh, there's kidney and macaroni in this one.
Yes, that would be.
Oh, we're eating
This
good
one's got a
tonight?
brownie.
It is edible. It's not even like, okay, you have a face, which is not edible. Like a face.
You
skin.
could eat a
You
face.
eat
You really
freshly
wanted to.
cooked
But
faces,
it's
Charlie.
chewy.
But baby, all right, let's not talk about
you can make
eating.
pork rinds.
Oh, for the love of God.
Zombies love face.
But
Damn
Do they
Florida.
use it to make?
but like
Probably make some good jerky out of
she
face.
Ooh,
gets
that's actually.
Yeah.
she gets really, really pissed. She's like, I had plans for her, Charles. He was like, what? You forgot about dinner. And like they start having like another like coupley fight.
Like,
And she's like,
I wanted to do it if you would have reminded me.
and then she's like, what were you gonna do with her, Deborah? And I was like, I don't know, make her suck my feet. And I was just like, this woman
Yeah.
is like predatory.
Yeah, so let me tell you something. Considering the fact that the woman who wrote this movie intended for herself to be the female lead in this movie, she was using this film as I think she was using this film as an outlet for her sexual desires that were not being satisfied at the time.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about it when we get to that scene.
Okay. Okay. So Deb's pissed.
Sorry.
She had plans for that girl that may have been sexual in nature. I wrote initially, and then they were totally sexual in nature. Charles thinks her attitude has nothing to do with her taking turns or her kills, but about the fact that Deb wants another baby and Charlie doesn't. He has a good point. They can't hardly take care of the one they have, and she almost killed her that one time. Charlie heads outside to cool off. Deb yells at him and throws her saw, which the Foley artist forgot to add sound for.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing happens when she throws
Oh,
that.
I do remember that.
It
It
just
was
hits-
just like you throw it and it's like,
It just hits.
Where'd it go?
It just hits the
Yeah, it
carpet.
where the fuck did it go?
It just went into the void.
It's still in orbit to this
They
day.
threw it into the void. Like they threw it and someone just catches it because like they almost get hit in the background.
Yeah,
Probably.
some alternate dimension, some poor fucker is just walking down the street and a hacksaw falls out of the sky, just hits him in the head.
Not again.
By the way, we yell at this. No one's gonna ever have to listen to us at full volume.
Oh shit.
They're
Yeah.
gonna turn us down.
I forgot about that. And then I said like I have to give it to them. It feels like an actual like end of marriage fight.
Yeah, it did.
It's very realistic fighting
it
compared
was.
to like, okay, yeah, we do fight sometimes, me and Brad, because we're a couple and it happens.
Yeah,
and it's like,
everybody
it kind of
does.
reflects on us. Like, I feel it. This feels very real.
It did. I was really impressed. Like, most of the rest of the movie is terrible and awful, but like, there are several moments in the movie, particularly in the arguments, where you can really feel like this was a couple who it's failing. It's, you know, they're at their end right now. I was really impressed with that, considering how terrible everything else in the movie is.
Their acting like
It wasn't the
together
worst.
was really good
Yeah.
for 9 days. Like
Yeah.
they were just like
Like, you would think for a low budget film, and like, okay, some of the acting wasn't the best, but they were actually.
They were decent.
They
Yeah, it was
made
pretty
very
convincing.
realistic fights.
Yeah. I was really impressed. She then yells at the corpses for ruining her evening, which is hilarious, and then she kicks one a couple of
Yeah,
times.
oh yeah. Was there any sound with that one?
Yeah, no, there was
remember.
like thuds because she's like started kicking the dude. She's like, fucking
She probably
damn
actually kicked him.
piece of shit. And the guy sitting there like, this wasn't in the script. She broke my ribs.
Motherfuckers, I didn't agree to this.
It's like, fucking, she's actually kicking me with those pointed fucking heels. Like,
I'm not into this. Why is this happening? Deb heads into a rec room, starts breaking Charlie's vinyl, which,
Yeah.
come on, dude, you're a dick.
that's what I thought too. Like, she was like, oh my god, a piece of vinyl's gonna like hit her in the face.
Yeah,
like,
I know, because that shit would be sharp if you probably.
yeah, I was like, I was waiting for her to
Yeah.
actually get hurt because I was waiting for it because like she's stabbing him with her bare
And
hands.
those,
I'm
I'm
just
sure,
like,
are actual vinyl. They look like real vinyl.
Yeah,
Because
that
what else are you
probably
gonna do?
was.
They don't have props.
she's sitting there like,
Yeah, no, they don't. The movie was shot in 9 days. They don't have props.
And I don't know what brought this on, but I had something in my notes about feels like a fight between an inexperienced cameraman and one who knows what he's doing. I think that's what the fucking angles and shit feel like. There's some scenes where like you have the unexperienced dude just like doing weird shit and like walking.
the
and
budget could only afford one dude, so they stuck him on the most expensive camera, and then the producers over there were like a handheld, like,
What the hell is that guy doing?
shit, I've saw
God damn
softcore
it.
before, get a good angle.
Like there's some good scenes and then there's some bad scenes. Like what the fuck is this person doing?
Oh, so she's crying that he doesn't care about her or what she likes, things like that. If he's gonna break a part of her, she's gonna break a part of him. So I guess he's just like super into his records, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like it.
During the middle of this, she has a flashback to the same night from earlier, I assumed. And they actually seem to really love each other. The flashbacks are some of those moments where they, these two actors put on a really good performance that seemed like they were really connected with each other.
And I have sepia is not the way to go.
It's not. Yeah, it really pulls you out of the moment because
Yeah.
it's just such a drastic visual difference
is, yes.
from the last scene. It's like, oh, okay, we're back in this again.
Yeah, and they're just talking all sweet and like, oh yeah, love you. Sure, you want to have a baby? Are you getting married? Because it's like Christmas or something. She's like, you didn't get me any piece of jewelry to prove that you love me.
Yeah.
And then like an asshole, he's just like, oh, did I? I waited for you to get mad.
Which I kind of like that because that would be.
I'm getting laid tonight.
That would be what it would be. And I thought maybe it was an engagement ring. It was just like a necklace. Or
By the
Yeah.
way, there's a young girl tied up in our bedroom just for you, sweetie.
Probably.
Probably.
I know what you like.
And any more flashbacks than that would be too much because they already made the point that they were in love and loving and love at first
Yeah.
sight and they had a relationship.
The flashbacks also contributed to they're shot and they feel like they're part of like a Showtime porno movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they're all
I was like, is it gonna happen at some point? This is gonna happen, right? I mean, come on. Poorly simulated penetration. I can't wait. So terrible.
That's what a lot of
Love
low
that.
budget movies like this use sex as just another.
Yeah, that's another thing that this overall for the whole movie. Okay, so it dodged like the tropes for like shitty like movies like this. There was no like shock factor, incredible gore,
Yeah.
and there was again when we get to it, but there was like very little like sexy time
Yeah.
because normally they drive these points to the extreme. It's either like the dude is getting like oh and blood and guts everywhere, or they're just like look at the 480 pairs of tits
Yeah.
and they're all double D's. These two are fucking. Like,
Yeah, look at
like-
isn't that great? Don't
like-
think about how terrible the rest of this is. Look at that.
Yeah, I was like, look, we paid all of our budget with the paying these two. Like, watch this.
You're gonna look at these.
We have 5 minutes before like we get the shitty pitchfork to fly through their face. Like, just come on, like.
So she's cooled down after a little while and finds Charlie in the yard looking at one of their old kills. He tells her this is why he doesn't want another baby. This one wasn't even a planned kill. Deb lost her temper and killed her.
It makes it sound like it wasn't a planned like pregnancy kind of
Yeah.
thing. But like it's so weird. She's reminiscing it with the record and he's reminiscing with a body.
Yeah, he's sitting there just like, oh, remember when she just fucking lost her shit and killed this person?
He's worried about what her temper will do to another child, which I think that's a sensible thing to be concerned
is.
about.
Yeah.
If your wife just kills someone that they didn't plan to kill, who's to say she's not going to get mad at a baby and be like, enough of your shit,
Yeah.
microwave the kid or something.
I'm surprised. That's why I was saying. I was like, it was a miracle Becky made it through this because
Yeah.
It is.
the way it looks like is that the mom just like gets pissed at, especially at like women in general, and just goes, fuck you.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
And I started getting all like psychological in this again with the narcissism and the serial killers. Like a lot of serial killers are actual like not just like, oh, he's so narcissistic. It's an actual like mental, disease kind of thing. A lot of them are sociopaths, psychopaths, whatever. They have no emotions.
Yeah.
They only think about themselves. Why would a narcissist have a kid? Unless I guess it could be an accident, but they'd probably like fucking kill the kid, obviously.
Yeah.
Like they don't think about other people. They only think about themselves. Or like unless they have Munchausen's by proxy, where like they want attention through the kid, which it doesn't seem like they really did.
Yeah.
no.
I mean, unless you're Ed Gein, you just want people putting nails in your junk.
Oh yeah, he stuffed nails up his penis.
He did. He was crazy.
That's some shit.
He made skin suits.
And a nipple belt.
He did.
That was him, wasn't it? Yes, a nipple belt. And actually, with the podcast I listened to, My Favorite Murder, someone sent them a crocheted nipple belt.
You had
like different races of nipples.
you had me at nipple belt. Like, did you not notice my face where I'm just sitting there looking at you like I don't think I want to sleep by you anymore. I'm gonna wake up and you're gonna look at me with like baloney face and hold up like a thing full of nipples, and I'm just gonna be like, I knew she was gonna fucking get me eventually.
I'm gonna buy a pack of ham and just put holes
I
in it.
swear to God, if I ever wake up and you fucking, I'm bigger than
I'm
you.
gonna walk naked into the room like, hey baby, you like my baloney face?
I won't know whether to
Got a
laugh.
fucking pocket knife with the nipple belt. You want to add to it?
Which is funny because my pocket knife is like 2 inches, so.
Grabs boobs.
It's dull and rusty.
God, that's awful. That is actually would both be the funniest and fucking. I wouldn't know how to really act. I would laugh my ass off if you walked in with a fucking baloney face. We don't have baloney.
Speaking of nipples, when I was a teenager, I had this friend on Xbox Live who didn't live too very far from me, down in Dallas, Georgia, which is like not too far away from Atlanta. And he was a really cool guy. I liked him. He was a good friend of mine. But he was sexually confused as a young adolescent.
Oh, no.
And
That can go over a few different ways.
yeah. And one day he sent a mass text to everybody on his friends list, requesting us to send him pictures of our nipples.
Oh my
And
god!
I was like, nope.
I love it so much.
Here you go, Jeffrey.
Like, dude, we're friends.
You know how many people probably did?
But yeah, I'm sure they did.
For the
like,
lulz.
I mean, okay, if you really.
Yeah, like, dude, we're friends, but like, I'm not giving you sexual gratification.
You know that's
right? I'm not down with that.
Some serial killers kind of start out though, right? Especially, 50 or so years ago when like things like homosexuality was wrong, or it wasn't wrong. It was viewed as being wrong. It wasn't a good thing, and people were confused about their sexuality. So they're like, I will try I will try women, but I'm gonna kill boys and fuck their dead bodies.
Yeah. Serial killers, man.
It's very interesting.
Going back.
To the movie.
So Charlie can't handle this anymore, and he's thinking about leaving. We get more real marital problems. So they make a deal. Charlie heads off for a drive to calm down. Then when he gets back, they'll have a talk and work some of this out.
And they seem very rational and normal for serial
Yeah, they do.
Very rational.
Yeah, the whole thing is like the whole movie is like they're for what they are. They're just sitting there like, oh, well, I guess we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So meanwhile, Deb is in charge of cleaning. Back in the kitchen, Deb sees a picture of her and Charlie and reminisces again to a happier time. Okay, maybe not. It's her birthday, and she's upset that she didn't get some jewelry she wanted. You were talking about this a minute ago. She complains that she doesn't think Charlie loves her because of it, that he's not listening to her. But oh wait, he surprises her and she loves it.
So wait, was there 3 flashbacks then?
Seems to be, yeah.
Okay,
the
so
first
then,
one,
yeah.
the other one a minute ago, and then this one.
I forgot all about that. Fuck it.
So back in the present day, Deb is making a poison mixture to kill Charlie because she's had it with his shit.
And it's just like literally up in a spice cabinet somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even, she didn't have to reach back. She just
opens up like, here's the arsenic because, who knows when we're going to have to kill people. And then
It must have been some crazy combination, though, of some weird poison he did because it was his special recipe.
They zoom in on the label of whatever it actually is or whatever the hell it is. Yeah, it's like cyanide or some shit. She pours it in his champagne and then she she's like, again, she sets up very nicely because, again, like if you look at it, she's like a woman in her 40s or some shit. She's got and it's still like a dude, and like, you know, he's a dude and she's a chick. So she like prepares, she like duct tapes 2 knives to both sides of the table.
Yeah.
Depending on where she would be. So she'd be like, if I have to, knife.
Well, at some point in the kitchen too, there was rustling in the background, by the way.
Oh god, the shitty boom mic. Oh my god,
What?
the audio. No, like at some points you could hear them with the boom
That's
mic.
right, you needed
could
the
hear,
music.
Yeah, you could hear like the ambience because that's one of the scenes where like she's talking, she's like, I'm tired of his shit,
and
you
can
could just
people
hear like
rustling in
you
the
could hear like
background.
rustling and like of the boom mic.
No, are you
Yeah,
serious?
yeah, that's why they needed
Oh
background
my
or
God.
something.
Yeah, they needed
Because
some background music and some, even if it was
'cause-
just simple, like that's why people have background music, because you can hear the cat or the crew in the background.
And like the ambient, just like the ambient sound that like shit picks up, like the static and shit,
Like
like
white
it
noise,
was
yeah.
in there, and like you could tell sometimes when she's talking. I was like, because I remember I made the comment, I was like, that boom mic, or like,
So Deb is mixing up her poison. She's planting knives under the dinner table, and oh no, Becky shows up. And she's up because she heard them fighting. She asks about the people in the floor.
at which point she's like, they're just sleeping, honey, and I was like,
So she doesn't know that they kill people.
yeah,
We find out here that she doesn't know that they kill people. Even though there's everything in the world in the home that's like, you murder people for a living. That's what you do. This poor kid. This poor fucking kid, man.
Yeah, we were like, how does she make it this far?
joke's on you.
Yeah. So Deb sends the kid back to bed, agreeing to read to her later.
And again, she's talking about like, my tummy hurts and all that, and like,
Yeah.
she's gotta be pregnant.
Yeah, they
There's so
foreshadow.
many
Yeah,
clues.
because when she said like my tummy hurts, I immediately jumped to like the sickest shit, and I was like, the dad got her pregnant or
Because, I
some
mean,
shit.
not
Yeah, I
to
did. I
like
thought
reveal
about
it
that, too.
too soon, but she was like, Daddy touched me, and it's like, she's gotta be pregnant.
Yeah, I remember. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So she sends Becky back to sleep. Charlie has tried a couple times to take a drink, but keeps getting stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I thought
I missed a line. He made his way back into the house.
Yeah, he's like, he comes back from the city, and they're like talking over the champagne, and he like keeps going for it,
I thought
and
for
they
sure
keep
he was just pretending and he knew, but apparently he was just not getting to
and
it.
they kept going to the thing, and then I was just like, you dumb bitch, if you want to kill him, just stop fucking, shut your dumb mouth, he'll drink it.
Yeah. Like, you murder people. Why is this so hard for you to do?
It'd be way easier if he just takes a sip. He's fucking Dunskies. Just let him fucking.
And you know what? You might be right with it being, I think, was it cyanide or arsenic? Because one of those two have a taste and scent of almond.
Yeah.
Which only some people
Yeah,
can smell or taste.
Yeah, because he smells.
Yeah, because he smells it, and it's like, why would you actually have a scented poison if you're gonna kill people?
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah.
I guess by the time they actually taste it, then they're fucking dead. But still, you shouldn't be doing that.
Never make a deal with a Sicilian.
So we find out here that Charlie got Deb a present. She's getting all pissy because she wants to talk, quote, talk, which means she wants to see him die. Like, she is so very much done with him at this point. She just wants him dead.
Which proves to his questions that she's just like, she lets her anger, like, she impulse kills.
Yeah,
like,
she does.
that's
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
the problem, was like, he feels like he's more like the methodical, like, I'm gonna sneaky kill you.
Yeah.
And then she's more like the, I got a shotgun in the diner underneath my trench coat. You fucking got my sunny side eggs wrong, kneecap face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, we're like reflecting on my relationship. Like, yeah, I get angry more than I should. I'm the angry one.
Maybe quit bringing our personal
I
lives
kind of
into this.
understand this.
Like, look what you did to us, Zach. We are this. We are Charles and Deborah.
How fucked up are we?
This is gonna
You
be
know
the
what's
last
more-
episode.
you
It's
know-
not gonna get put out. I'm
You know
gonna
what's
die
more
here.
fucked up? You know what's more fucked up? In video games and shit, I like using big weapons and stuff, but I also prefer poison. Like,
Yeah.
if I have a poison option, I'll do it.
Yeah, you know, like if I'm playing Assassin's Creed, I'm gonna take everybody out as quickly and quietly as possible. I don't want a big fight. Just make it real easy on myself, you know?
I have no way to be stealthy. I am not a stealthy person.
Stab. There, you stabbed.
But
What the fuck?
okay, so I want to get to this present part because it is juicy. One of the juiciest parts of this
who,
movie.
who wants to take this? Who wants it? 'Cause, like, I've got my notes in it, but like, who wants it?
I'll go for it.
Go
All
for
right,
it.
so Charles is like, I brought you a present, and they bring in this I'm gonna say she was either Latina or Asian or whatever. So
sex worker.
Yeah, so they bring in this prostitute, and as soon as I see this girl, sex worker.
That's what you should be using, actually.
I had hooker in my notes. It's just because I was shocked. I was like, oh my god!
It's from the city. So
because it's a bad movie, it's the shocker word, hooker, but
so they bring her.
Nothing against actual sex.
So you bring her in.
They're pretty great.
And immediately I sat here, I was like, okay, so now since they didn't play up the gore, here's the sexy bit.
Yeah, here comes the porn part.
Yeah,
she straight up got like tits hanging out.
Yeah, it's like she gets instantly undressed and she's like got big old fake titties. She's wearing a red thong.
Yep.
She's getting all up on the girl and the girl's like smiling like
dude, she's
which
super
I
into
mean,
this.
obviously at this point, and they don't like even. I love kind of that. They explore this and don't make it a big thing. Like, she's fucking bisexual. Who gives a shit? I kind of love it.
And she's like making out. Is there a flashback before this, or like when they're making out or whatever?
Because
they talk.
After that.
Yeah, because they talk about her being in the girls
and her being like, I kind of want to experiment.
Yeah,
and like it's kind of like, holy shit, this is actually kind of good.
So she starts making out, and I was like, okay, here's where like clothes start falling off, and we get like that like threesome, and I was gonna be like, this is what you buy this movie for. and then so like they start making out, and then he's sitting there just watching, and then he gets over there and starts like rubbing on that booty, and that's when Deborah's just like, well, now I'm pissed and jealous.
Well, she was already pissed because she kept watching him like he was like sitting there.
She was fine at first, and then when he's just like, there's hot action in front of me, I'm gonna do what every dude does.
And she's like not happy he's getting into it clearly, and she's still kissing her. Well, it's like she kisses her and he's okay with it, but she's not okay.
There's at one point where like the chick's like stripping on her and shit, and then the wife's face is like, I fucking like, she's obviously pissed at him, and I was like, when is the prostitute? Yeah, I know, but the prostitute should have picked that up. Because she's like staring daggers at the husband like in a pissed off face, and I was like, the girl should have been like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, hey, is this not cool?
Yeah. Is this not? It's like, I already got my money. I can leave.
That would be rational.
Yeah, but then
this is a shitty movie.
Yeah, she gets back into it, so they kiss a little bit, and then the girl like, oh, by the way, this is not like, so the knife is like 2 inches. Deborah gets a knife.
She pulls a knife out of her boot.
Yeah, pulls a knife out of her boot. And so this would be an actual, like, maybe longer, like, there would be a scream. She wouldn't insta-die, I think.
Yeah, I don't think she would.
Because Deborah's just like, you were fucking, and, like, stabs the shit out of, like, I only assume, like, would be this region. Again, not very lethal.
Yeah, like, more like the lower stomach, like, with how short the knife was, there's not much that...
Yeah.
I mean, unless you just, like, really force that shit up in there.
Yeah, it was like, she, like, fucking, like, got up into her heart.
Like, forearm up in there and start working on
fatality.
Exactly.
And at some point, the music does disappear again.
Yeah, the music
does. Like, they have music in the background for, like, the sexy scene, and then it just cuts.
Yeah, of course it does.
And I sat there and I was like, oh, there goes the sexies bit, and all we got to see was like boobies and butt, and that was it. And then so like the chick falls over, and Charles is like, Deborah, what the hell? And she's just like, oh, you wanted her more than me. And he was like, the fuck I did? What the fuck did you just do?
It's a fucking soap opera.
Yeah.
It's what it is. It literally, the music just disappears. Like, it's on and off, the camera angles so weird, the sound is weird. It's a fucking soap opera.
And it was, yeah.
So then they have the fight where he makes, again, the logical point. He's like, your anger took the best of you again, and now we have another problem. This wasn't planned. And there's, like, no setup either, so that woman fell. There's blood on their carpet now.
Yeah,
and
how are you going to get that out?
Yeah, and there's, like, all sorts of shit. And then he, what is that? Oh, so then they have, like, a fight.
Yep.
Oh, you can stop when you guys want me, because I already handled like the sex scene. But like they have like the fight, and then she comes after him with the knife.
Yep,
and
tries to stab him.
And he puts him in a headlock. He's like, go to sleep.
Yeah, he chokes her out. Yeah.
I was like, oh, is he finally murdering her? And
yeah, I thought this was it.
Yeah, and then he's like, go to sleep. Chokes her out, and then that's the end of that scene. But I was like, yeah, sexy time, and then even they fuck that up.
Yeah. I mean, I put here, he did say it was her present, and she got super jealous over that. And, you know, this poor girl who had nothing, she's just trying to get out there and make her Cheerios money. She ain't got nothing to do with this. She's just trying to earn her living, and she gets murdered.
Yeah, it was
she gets jealous murdered for nothing.
It was a shitty move.
It's like, I thought we could share her, and I was like, again, well, that's the guy's fault. He should have never said share, because at this point he's like 4-0.
Yeah.
Like, maybe
No.
he should have actually explained it beforehand. Like, oh, it's a cute surprise present just for you.
Yes.
No, we're gonna show her.
Yeah, it's just for you here, man. I'll sit back and watch, and then you can fucking like get your baseball bat out.
Yeah,
and
you've
negging the shit out of her.
You've got people in the basement you can go do shit with later.
Yeah.
Take a loss on this one. Just make your scary murder wife happy.
Yeah.
Come on, man. So we fade to black after Deborah gets choked out, and she wakes up tied to the kitchen table.
And she's like, come on, we have to go through this. Like, very normal
Yeah.
again.
She's like, Charles, I'm sorry. It's like, you're only sorry now, bitch, that he one-upped you.
Yeah. Yeah, and now it's more likely that you're gonna die in this situation.
It's like, oh, how the mighty have fallen. Like,
So Charlie shows up, says he's gonna have to teach her a lesson, and he injects something into her arm. It was amphetamines, and his lesson was to leave a hot iron on her stomach. What exactly was that supposed to teach her, and what was she supposed to learn?
Yeah, now he starts getting a little bit, like, irrational, because he's been, like, pretty good through this whole thing,
like,
and then he's like, I'm gonna torture you.
well, he's sitting there just like, I just want to hurt you to teach you a lesson. Like, you need to keep control of your anger. So I guess, like, in his psycho way, he's like, okay, I've tried talking to her like 100 times. Like, so the only way she's gonna learn is if I fucking
See how I feel now, you know?
fucking
Put this iron on
put
your
some goddamn decals on her side.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll fucking, next time she goes to fucking kill somebody out of anger, she'll be like, oh, remember that time I got
this.
remember that time I got an iron on? Like, I thought he was gonna put it on her fucking face, first of all.
Yeah, I wasn't
Oh,
ready for
yeah,
that
Yeah.
iron. I was
Like, in
no,
a good
no.
horror movie, that's what it'd be. He'd
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah, in a better movie.
Yeah, he
that
would actually,
happen.
like, press it and be like, feel that now.
Yeah, you just leave it laying on somebody.
this
You
is
just
this
kinda
is your
move-
anger, Deborah.
Just move
this
a little
is,
bit
yeah.
and roll off.
Yeah, because she tried to do that, it did start to roll off.
Yeah.
It wasn't even on. They just got like a shitty like.
Oh no.
He
Another
doesn't,
Goodwill thing.
he doesn't even take off her fucking shirt to raw skin. He just puts it on top of her belly, which I don't know.
No, don't
Which I
put it
guess he
on.
wasn't trying to really,
Don't put
really
it on
hurt
my
her.
stomach. It's cold.
That's probably what it was. She's probably like, it tickles, and be like,
the
chilly.
the metal on it is cold. We don't have a way to simulate the sizzle or the smoke or anything. Just put it on her fucking shirt.
Fucking
man.
fry some
Yeah.
bacon in the
yeah,
background.
yeah. At no point does it like shoot out steam or make a hissing noise. It's just like
Yeah.
it's clearly unplugged. Not even like a good prop.
So he takes off and he's gonna leave her to think about what she's done.
He's
heads-
listening to his record.
He heads back to his rec room and blasts some terrible music.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Deb's able to reach a hold of one of the knives she smartly hid under the table earlier and starts freeing herself. So, I had a question here. Maybe you guys can answer it. When Charlie was, putting ropes around the table legs to then attach to his wife, why didn't he notice the knives that were taped under the table?
He was
Yeah.
probably working too fast, but then again, that like plot hole because like you like thinking like
Well, they
maybe
wanted
she
to keep the knife thing,
Yeah,
and like
maybe-
otherwise it would be like kind of a useless.
maybe she might wake up at any point, so he's just like, I gotta hurry.
Because like you don't have to crouch down to tie it around. You just like,
Good.
and, I mean, as I'm short, so maybe I would know, but like he's taller, so he wouldn't be like have to be at that height. Well, obviously he wouldn't be at the table leg height, but
Yeah, he
you
could've
just
just, like,
wraps
leaned
it
over
around
it, yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
You wouldn't really have to look under the table
Yeah.
to see it.
That makes sense. So now it's time for Charlie to flash back. You brought that up a minute ago. Deb asks about bringing another woman into bed with them. She's curious.
Oh, that was it. Yep.
She the way she puts it, she wants to tag team this poor
No,
girl.
no, she goes like, he's like, would I be involved? And she's just like, no, that your dick's mine, so you can be there, but you ain't doing shit with this girl.
Yeah. Charlie can't have sex with the other girl. That part of him is for Deb.
Yeah.
As she puts
Which
it.
is so selfish.
Wonder if it has Deb written on it.
It's like instead of looking at an actual
Tattooed with a
relationship,
fucking safety pin and some ink from a ballpoint.
it is really selfish though. It's like
It is,
I
yeah.
want to be with girls and cheat on you, but you can't have other girls.
Yeah, I want to do this, but you can't. Like, that's not cool. Why do we have to do it that way? We could either work that out so that both of us can benefit, or neither of us can benefit.
Which
from
apparently
that.
he's okay with. Like, okay, if he's consented to a legitimate open relationship, whatever, but that's still like she assumes it's fine.
Yeah.
It's like the best cucking situation.
Yeah, she's a real ass about it. Back in the kitchen, Deb is almost free, and Charlie's sitting nearby. He knows what's going on. What the fuck am I
Oh
talking
no,
about?
he goes. That's the part where he's sitting down and he's getting ready to drink that champagne. And, I was
Oh,
like,
he
okay,
smells
yeah.
it.
and then he smells it and he's like,
Bitch, you tried to poison
he's
me.
like, Deborah, you tried to poison me.
Yep.
And he's like, actually, like, really? Like,
Deb manages to get free. She runs away and hides in a closet. And they argue for a little bit before Charlie leaves again.
And the thing is, I think it was at this point, or either that or when she went back to the room, there was a camera angle where it was clearly trying to mimic The Shining.
Yeah?
Where he is, like, at the door, and the camera angle is, like, underneath him.
Oh,
yeah. Like, he's on one side and she's on the other side.
Well, not like that, where the camera angle's under him.
Yeah,
and he's, like,
he's
at the door.
Yeah.
And he's, like, looking at the camera like, Deborah!
Yeah, it's like, in the floor
it's
looking up at him.
It's very clearly trying, like, I know The Shining. It's very obvious. And I don't know maybe how many other references, unless that's just, like, they saw The Shining and they're like, I want to do that.
That's a cool shot. We should do that.
Yeah, and it is a cool shot, but it's
yeah.
very, like, that's all they did to, like, reference another movie.
I think she didn't hide in the closet. I think she hid in their room.
It was something like that.
Yeah,
because he went in a closet to get something at one point.
Yeah, because the next part of it says back in the bedroom. So yeah, she did. She went and hid in the bedroom. Deb is applying ointment to her stomach burn, and Becky asks if they're fighting over her. Poor kid. This poor fucking kid, man. She is terrified. And then we cut to Charlie fishing around in coat pockets, and he finds a contact taser. Because who doesn't have a contact taser?
Again, out of all this stuff, he's realized that his wife is trying to kill him, that she's a bitch, and he's still just, like, non-lethal.
Yeah.
Well, and he's got stuff, and I mean, he's kind of hidden it in, like, jackets. There's a shit ton of jackets in that closet, by the way. But, like, there's, like, a gun up top on a top shelf, not very well hidden.
It's like the Home Alone serial killer edition. It's like, that's what the kid grew up to be.
Yeah.
He
what
grew
the
up to be
fuck
Charles.
was his name? There was another dude, and I don't remember who he was. He was some Hispanic or Latino killer, and he had, like, hidden compartments in his home, which is...
That's like super villain stuff.
But like, at least you can find somewhere to hide shit, but you got it in pretty plain sight. Not very good. Not very well hidden.
So Deb admits to Becky that Charlie burned her, and now she's asking if he did anything to Becky. And Becky tells her that Charlie would hurt her real bad if she told Deborah what happened between them. And I put at this point in my notes, is this dude a kid toucher? What the fuck, man?
Well, then I sat there, I was like, okay, so this is what the pregnancy test was for.
I knew it was coming on when she was saying, like, he would hurt me if I told you, all that kind of stuff. When she was very silent, it's like, yeah, I kind of saw this coming.
Yeah. My next paragraph is just, motherfucker, he did. He's a fucking kid toucher. Jesus fucking Christ. Deb then grabs a bat before leaving her room instead of the fucking gun that's sitting on the makeup table. Grab the gun.
That's her MO. I think Charlie's like gun and clean stuff, even though he says like, later. But like, I think her MO is that she's just more violent. She enjoys violent killing.
Yeah, well, it's not escalated to the point where they're trying to kill each other yet. They're still just trying to like fight it out, and it's escalating, but they're just fighting
with a baseball bat.
Yeah, it's not. It does not like it. It doesn't have to be lethal. You just fucking hit him in the shins.
It's fucking... Ow!
Well, I put in my notes here, I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? This dude burned you once tonight and is a kid toucher. Shoot him in his face!
Yeah, at that point you would think. But, no, at this point it's still not escalated to the point where they're trying to kill each other yet, apparently.
No, not yet. They're gonna get there soon. They're just... They're almost there at it.
Almost.
So they have a standoff in the hallway before moving into the dining room. Charlie says that he didn't touch Becky, and now Deb is losing her mind. She's breaking shit and accusing Charlie of having sex with the woman that he brought in earlier, yelling at him about how love doesn't exist. And now it's all over. They don't love each other anymore. Deb is only sticking around for their child. She wants to leave, but Charlie doesn't want it to end this way, so he pulls a gun from a coffee table.
Again, not very well hidden.
Nope. And they have one of those just do it moments.
Yeah.
And then, oh shit, there's a knock at the door. And it's the police.
Policia! Used to be a
Some
cop in Madrid.
Some calls came in from the neighbors about fighting. And then she stabs him.
Yeah.
And the police aren't here for any missing persons.
No.
They're here for domestic disputes.
No, like they answer the doors like, is there any problem, officer? And
yeah, they got like their his arm.
No, like Charles answers the door. He's like, is there any problems, officer? It's like, we heard some domestic disputes, and like, oh no, me and my wife are having a fight. Is your wife okay? And then she shows up.
Yeah, just around the corner.
Because she was right
Let
there.
Let me go get her, Deb.
Yes, dear. I was making fun. And then they're sitting there. We're acting this out, by the way, right in front of him. So she said, "It's like, no, there wasn't no fight." And then and she's got the knife, and it shows. She shakes him in the fucking back,
right in front of the cops.
Yeah, and he. By the way, this guy is fucking solid.
Stab me in the ass.
He's just sitting there, just like. Because when she does it, it could have been like grabbing his ass, and he's just like.
Yeah, I wasn't sure actually at first what happened.
So
I thought maybe she like just hit him in the ass or something.
So when there's no problems, officer. And then when they get done, they like shut the door. He goes like,
You stabbed me in the ass, you cheeky bitch.
He's like, you stabbed me. And then she's just like, if you move any further, I'll fucking rip your kidney out.
Now it looks like they're gonna play cat and mouse. Deb heads back into the murder room, and she whips the post girl a little bit while getting some weapons. She pulls her off of the post, telling her that she's going to help her. So she's essentially going to use this poor, tortured girl as a human shield.
She also screamed that Charles fuck you.
Yeah.
Because at this point, she just assumed that Charles has just been fucking everything.
Yeah.
Was this
go ahead.
before or after? Because Charles had gone to the bedroom too at one point.
No, they did this one where she's getting the girl, and then Charles runs up to the bedroom.
Okay.
She goes to the basement, and then back in the bedroom, Becky asks Charlie why they're fighting, and he asks why she told Deb that he touched her. She didn't answer. She didn't have an answer for him.
She just said, "I would never do that, Daddy."
Yeah, at this point, we were wondering that like maybe the psycho shit has rubbed off on the kid, and she's like better than both of them, and she's
manipulating them.
she's playing. She's like, you know what? Psychos can play normal people, but it takes a real genius to be like, these two motherfuckers. I bet I can make them kill each other.
Well, yeah, and I thought it was because maybe Becky didn't want a little sibling. So she's like, I'm a psycho too. Maybe I can get them to fight against each other, and at least someone dies. I won't get a little sibling. She wants to be the one, the only one.
She's gonna miss out on lunch. She could have ate that baby. We cut to Deb and the I keep calling her post girl. Did she ever get a name?
No, the pet. She's like pet.
Okay.
Yeah, she pretty much just called her pet.
Yeah. So Deb and the pet walking through the house. Charlie has Becky. And Deb throws the pet down a hallway.
Now thinking about it, for later reference, that's kind of gross.
Dude, it sure is.
If he actually had her, though.
Yeah, if he actually had her, because that means he...
Yeah.
Like, he had walked to the kitchen at one point, too, but
that's obviously...
Actually,
that was... Yeah.
But it could be the same thing.
Yeah.
Not a real thing.
Yeah, but then
we'll get to that. You'll realize after.
But then the pet was there too. So would she have seen?
Well, because she already she wouldn't. I think it was a hallucination because later she freaked out about it.
Okay. All right. So
because that would have been real obvious.
Yeah, operating that everything we see on screen is actually happening. Charlie attacks with his taser.
The pet, because they're like, it's like a dark hallway, and the girl throws the captive girl down the thing, and Charlie like zaps her instead. He goes, "Oh fuck, not my wife!" And
he's like, "Oh damn it, Deb."
And he's just like, "Deb's gonna get me now."
So Deb attacks Charlie, and he dodges, and then backhands her. And I put here, whoever was on Foley for this movie did a shit job, and the sound editor sucked too.
Oh dude, the sound effects. Oh my god,
there were none for this fight.
No, wasn't there like a shitty comic book
There may have been, but I have here, there are no sounds for several of the punches during this fight. None at all.
And that's where I put, at some point, I don't know if it applied to this scene or later on because it's after something else, but I just put bad acting bad.
Yeah, it is. Charlie starts punching Deb. There's no sound effects. During the fight, we learn the pet girl's name is Chris. She did have a name.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, well, she's pet.
Yeah, she's worthless now. She's run away. She's hiding in their bedroom, where we finally get to see.
Stop you there real quick. It's another part where there's normalcy interjected. This they're trying to full blown kill each other at this point. They're fighting, but then they stop in the middle of it because they know if either again it's rationality. If either one, the one who survives this still has to not get arrested. Yeah. So she's like, "Stop, Charles! The pet got away. The pet's free." And then he just goes like, "God damn it, Deborah. And they both
They even care about her going to the police. They're just like, well, there's the pet now. What the fuck? It's like your cat gets out. Like, damn it, the cat's gone.
I know, but like they both
look what
stop
you
trying
did.
to kill each other, and they have to go get her again, and that's when okay, go.
This is where we see Becky lying on her parents' bed, all fucked up and dead looking.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I wasn't sure
that's
at
how I
first
put it.
either until, I mean, you kind of could see barely, like, maybe a little rot on the face or something, but,
Yeah,
like, I'm
her-
like,
no, her-
oh, and she has a rose, too, a single, like,
Oh,
rose.
did she?
Like
Yeah.
a black, was it a black rose? She has, like,
I don't remember
something.
that.
And she's holding it, like,
I
on
just
the bed.
remember that her face is like all fucked up in blood and
Yeah.
shit, and like
saw
rotting,
green. I
and
don't know.
she's like rotting. She's been dead for a while, and so Becky didn't make it through the car accident.
Yeah, she obviously did not.
Oh, okay, wasn't,
Yeah.
I wasn't,
Yeah.
actually,
So
I
that
don't
means
even-
she's been dead for a while in that.
It may have been the accident, because since they alluded to it
Yeah.
earlier, but she's dead of something.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, that would make more sense if
or
it
they
was,
killed
was
her.
the accident,
Yeah.
because they mentioned that, and, like, she almost didn't make it. She was really
Yeah.
hurt. That would actually make more. I wasn't sure what it was that they did, but somehow she died and she got killed. Maybe it was neglect or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, that would make more sense.
So, Chris starts freaking out about Becky, but Charlie says that she's fine.
Yeah.
They break into the room.
Yeah, Deb is just sitting on the bed. She's like, "It's okay, sweetie, go
And
back to
she's-
sleep." Like,
she
because they're
starts
seeing her
singing
head
to
that
her
it's real.
and shit.
But like, they
Yeah.
both
Super
see
creepy.
her
Yeah,
as
not,
real.
yeah. This is the point where they're just like, okay, the death of this child is what really broke these people.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
definitely.
and honestly, I didn't realize there would be that twist with Becky.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Really?
I
No,
didn't
I
think about
thought
it.
like so first we thought like maybe she's a victim and then like maybe she's the mastermind and like no she's
Yeah,
dead.
This movie could have gone several ways with all those plots. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I would be actually really interested
They should've done,
if
like,
she was like
Clue.
a killer,
Yeah.
or she was like some psychopath too, and that she wanted them both dead. But like, it really is not a bad twist with Becky
Yeah.
being dead.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And now it makes sense with the foreshadowing. Fuck, I'm not good at this shit.
The college professor who like grading this movie was like, it's shit, but hey,
yeah, you got it.
Like, not bad.
it's like I was actually thrown off. Like,
And then Chris,
Mic test.
I think Chris the pet. She screams. I thought maybe that was her kid.
no.
Too. Like, 'cause she screams
Yeah.
like, "Holy shit, that's my kid!" That I didn't know where she was, and she's fucking
I was
dead. in
like,
the
she's
bed.
dead.
But no, she's just fucking dead.
Yeah.
She's terrified about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd react the same way if I found a dead kid laying
that
in
was a
bed
little-
somewhere
Yeah, it's like, you
in a place
killed
where I've
her.
been kidnapped and
Yeah.
tortured for a long time.
But like, would she realize right away that she was dead or just sleeping? Because I guess maybe she could see the rot really well. Because I didn't see it that well with the
Probably
camera
smells
angle.
like death in that room.
I
Yeah,
would
that's
think so,
true.
yeah.
That's true.
So like, and then they're just like, can we just fucking kill her? So then they,
Unless they got a lot of hamster bedding stuffed up in the kid.
yeah.
Oh god.
so they fucking at this point won't put it past them.
Yeah.
So they both agree they just straight up kill her before she like screams and shit some more, and then it's pretty much like almost after sex because they both lay down.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's what I
Yeah.
put it's before that.
And they're very happy.
I put
and
this movie is one long fight, and obviously it is. And then I put they're gonna end up hate fucking. Is this how they get off? Is this how the first child started?
Yeah.
Because I mean, it seemed like the child was an accident because the husband's like, oh no, I do love Becky, and blah, blah, blah. Like, but yeah, they're gonna end up hate fucking.
Yeah, so they hate murder fuck, but they
Yeah,
don't
this is
really
how they
fuck.
get off.
So
They did.
they murder this poor girl.
They did, yeah.
And then, by the way, but how relaxed they both are. Mind you, Deborah at this point has been stabbed, punched, tased, and burned.
Burned, yeah.
So that's like a lot of residual shit.
Oh, and she's got amphetamines in her system.
And Charles has been stabbed in the fucking kidney.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, like, I don't care, like, how, like, relaxing you think murdering that person is. You're not gonna lay down and be like, oh, no, you're gonna lay down and, like, every movement would hurt because that's
Well,
your
they're
lower
gonna
back.
feel it after that
Yeah.
because they are gonna be high on like adrenaline,
Oh, yeah,
and then they're
that
gonna
too.
have all this sex hormones all over the place, and then they're gonna be like, "I'm dying."
Oh, this is bad. Oh.
Oh, by the
Oh,
way,
God.
my literally, I'm bleeding out all over the place.
Yeah, I should be dead right now.
Actually, at that point, you would think because their heart rate's probably increased, you'd be bleeding out more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I
but,
should be dead, right?
all right,
I
so
mean, shit.
continuing on.
So here they talk about killing Charlie's first girlfriend, who he cheated on with Deb. Which explains why she was so worried about him cheating initially. It doesn't excuse her being such a dick, but it explains her concern with it. He asks her if they can work this out, and she says, "Why would I want to?" And fucking stabs him again.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
She straight up just fucking stabs him.
There's a lot of weird, like, drawn out scenes that kind of just like turn the opposite way, do a 180.
It's a
kind
really
of.
cool line too. Why would I want to?
She's
Damn.
It was very. she just got sex out of him, and she's just like, fuck it.
Yeah, she stabbed him, and then, like, don't they just lay there, and then, like, doesn't he, like, because earlier when they were fighting, he gave her a 5-minute start. Doesn't he, like, ask her to get his 5-minute start or something?
I think so.
So he starts, go ahead.
Yeah, I got here, he cuts her across the ribs.
Yeah, he stabs her.
Yeah, he stabs her back.
And I put, there are 9 minutes left in this movie.
Yeah.
What else can happen?
That's where it gets really drawn out.
Yeah.
I hate it. Like, all they're doing is, like, talking, and I'm like,
Now, they're like torturing each other now to death. Like, I don't really want to. Like, I want to kill you, but at the same time, I'm like,
I saw a review online too, when someone was talking about it, like, oh, this ending made me so sad, like, cry, like, how it's so drawn out. I hate it. It is so anticlimactic.
Yeah.
So she's like writhing in pain because he finally gets her good, what could be considered a lethal blow, because he never he's dealt more damage than he ever is.
Yeah.
And that's all it is at the end, is just them talking and like, oh, I'm sorry, I did love you.
So, and then he fucking hobbles his way. No, who gets shot there? Does someone finally get shot?
Deb grabs the gun off the makeup counter and shoots at him. Yeah. Before we get to the end, she shoots at him. Then we cut to him crawling down the hallway, all dying and shit. That's what I put, all dying and shit. Deb gets up and walks over to Charlie in the hallway and shoots her. Shoots him. What the hell?
He shoots her because she thinks he's finally dead. He's like, "Are you still alive?" And then he does like the cool thing where he's just like, "Nope, bitch," and just like, because he's like faking that he's passed out.
Pulls a Deadpool and shoots her.
Yeah, he just pulls out his little. I don't know what the fuck that thing. It's a little.
It's just like
the little 6-shooter like pocket, and then he goes like boom, and then it's like, there we go, finally a lethal wound on this woman.
Yep.
Because he's obviously dead.
Yeah, he's dying.
Yeah.
So they talk about how they thought it would end as they lean on each other, all bleeding and dying. They're just fucking up the wall. It's totally ruined.
Yeah, they're just talking to each other like this is the end.
And this last scene is just right on the back of the case, too.
Yeah. It sure is. Look at that.
Yep, just not very hidden.
Oh, yeah, they're just sitting there.
I guess, like, if they're saying, okay, they're fighting and they're serial killers that want to kill each other now, I guess it makes sense. But it's literally the last scene.
They have it both here. There's them cuddling on the wall, and then there's, like, them
at death, yeah.
No, there's the actual movie lighting, and then there's, like, the flash.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
If you don't know that that's the ending, I guess that's okay.
Yeah.
Because it does say that they end up fighting at each other. So, I mean, I guess that's okay. I wouldn't have put that on there, but...
It's a little...
So they talk about how well they knew each other. Charlie asks about Becky, and Deb confirms that she's dead. I don't. Why did they need that?
Well, because like they're finally. I think they brought it to that they're finally confirming that she died.
Like they're finally accepting it.
Yeah, because I think before when she died, they were just they kept it playing in their heads that she was fine and everything was fine, and then like so at the end of the movie they finally realized like. It's over for both of them, but they're still like they accept the fact that their child is dying.
Which is weird because they were hallucinating the whole time, like obviously, because it was very real to them.
Well,
then they're like, those weren't real. I don't think they would just straight up be like, she's dead.
Well, I mean, like they probably like made it up overall because like you keep telling yourself the lie over and over and over again, especially if you're fucking nuts to begin with. You're just gonna start believing it, and then like you can't really have a living child if they never walk around. But I think. Part of like maybe their fucked up psychology is they probably believe that she was like very sickly all the time or whatever.
Yeah, because they say she had like a stomach bug or something weird going on.
So they kept her up there. So
after that, Charlie asks if she ever really stopped loving him.
No.
What?
This is where they get
like very weepy and
like they start loving each other. Like they ask her, like they're sitting there and just like, I never really.
It's like a normal couple almost, except they're fucking dying. But it's like a normal couple fight where it's like, I mean, yes, I love you, but we have these issues, and I mean, I didn't really stop loving you, but like we gotta not do this.
Yeah, she says that she does still love him. She just can't live with him. And he loves her too. It's nice.
Yeah, it's kind of cute.
And then,
but still,
they bring their guns up to each other's chins, and we cut to black.
Yeah, we cut to black.
I mean, obviously they're dead. Again,
they would have been dead anyway. The cops are on the fucking way.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, they're done.
Shit, the gunshots. Okay, so this is where the shitty sound effects actually is here.
Were there? I couldn't remember.
No, okay, I'm gonna say to like add more to me talking a lot. They did have shitty gun sound effects. That's the two things that they did here. They were like so the 44, the big one on the desk, did like a boom, and it was like a muffled like shitty like
Yeah.
royalty free. Boom.
Yeah.
So they did that. By the way, they also did like a shitty like Photoshop or whatever fucking light effect when the gun shot too. If I remember this,
I don't remember.
I just have like a flair for it. It's like a shitty like the muzzle flare.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not an actual gunshot. So it's like. So the 44 has that sound, but when he finally shoots, they just did like a little one, and like they did like a split-second white screen flash for the gunshot. But he's like, it goes like 2. So like, because he's using like a smaller like 30 whatever.
Yeah, I don't even know what that thing would be.
It's a small like pocket defense gun. And
I mean, you'd probably get more use out of a damn BB gun than you would out of that.
Yeah,
so
you shot me.
yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
you actually shot me with that.
Yeah, it's like that's like a small varmint rifle.
Yeah, what are you doing?
But
Dick.
like, so that's where they actually had sound effects. This movie was the shitty gun
I
effects.
totally forgot about that. So, final thought: the movie's over. It's done.
And then the
It's
credits
over.
are the
we gotta
fucking
talk about the
pictures.
credits.
I mean, it's
Oh, I
not
don't
really
remember
that
the
much to
credits.
talk about. Again, we kind of talked about the picture. It's literally the pictures they have hanging on the walls in the torture room.
It plays that shitty Western song again
It
the
does,
whole
yes.
time.
Really?
So, yeah, it plays like the Western theme
It doesn't
song.
fit.
And, by the way, the song was made specifically for the movie because it's custom. It relates to the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
like,
you mentioned that. I didn't realize.
yeah,
because
I was looking at the credits because sometimes
because
pay attention because I was like, there's no way this is an actual like song. No,
Yeah,
this is a song.
Yeah, this is just like some stock shit somewhere.
No, it was like dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun 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 dun. But it was actually about them. It was actually about the movie couple.
Decision to do that.
And then they put all the pictures with like the hokey shit.
Yeah, probably
like, all,
the cast
like
and
all of
crew
their- all
like
of
trying to
their
do torture
Yeah.
scenes.
Victims
Yeah.
that they had.
Yeah.
Which, like,
and
isn't
the
that hard to do.
Stupid plastic baloney faces all over
Yeah.
the goddamn
Like
wall.
those kind of pictures. I mean, they're cool, they're neat, but they're not hard to do.
And that's where we got the legendary close-up of, like, Dan the man sitting beside the corpse, like, I know I'm next. These people are fucking
They
nuts.
probably spent a lot of their
glamour
money
shot.
on those pictures. They probably spent a lot. Unless this was like a previous thing and they're like, we gotta use these pictures.
Next on Behind Bars.
Shit. Yeah, overall, I mean, not the worst movie. I wasn't
definitely.
expecting. I guess I could go into it thinking I wasn't expecting much, so that was probably a good thing.
Right. Yeah.
So honestly, a good like 4 or 5 out of 10. Honestly,
it's not, I wouldn't be
The acting was-
that good.
well, the acting wasn't the worst.
It's-
There was some good twists. It wasn't the best for a low budget 9-day movie.
Yeah, it's not that, like, they did, I think they did really good. Now that you say that, it's 9 days. Like, that's
Yeah.
actually really decent. I mean, obviously they might have made some little bit of money. Again, like, I feel like these movies are the movies that
spent
you...
money on it, so.
Yeah, you know, just especially back in that, you know, at that point, you know, making DVDs and getting distribution, I mean, it's still not cheap now, but it was, you know, it was even more expensive back
it was
then.
still kind of the beginning.
This
of
is
DVDs.
just like the filler shit that you put on for people to rent. Like, this is straight like rent or sci-fi or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah, I can see it on like Sci-Fi Channel, like
Or
especially
Chiller.
whenever-
Like, it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
filler.
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah, definitely. So that was 2004's Suburban Nightmare. What do you think? Would you guys suggest this to other people?
I mean, I would watch it. It's kind of funny.
Honestly, like I said, I wouldn't go into it thinking much, and like looking at the cover, it looks
This
just
is the
a very,
collector's edition DVD.
very
Is
thorough-
it?
Wait, what?
It says collector's edition DVD in a blockbuster case. It says feature film with director and editor commentary. Oh, sweet tits! Want to do a part 2? Multiple
most
mini,
definitely.
multiple. We didn't even watch this. It says multiple mini docs, including
Oh,
the
shit.
victims.
Oh shit!
I didn't watch any of that.
Okay, maybe we'll have to go back for some like later stuff.
The
Maybe at
wor-
the beginning of another episode.
Oh my god, they went balls deep in this. The world of the killers on the set. They have a whole segment on the torture room. The shitty
this
cardboard
thing
box.
just got better.
The shitty cardboard box torture room that's like 4x5.
I didn't watch any of that.
And then we also have the Shaco Rama Howard
works.
Schwartz trailer vault. Like, apparently it's in there in the DVD features. I mean, we just watched it, but like that is like a whole other like
Well,
segment
okay,
by
watch out
itself.
for part 2 because this took already like 2
Yeah.
hours to do.
Yeah.
Look out for part 2. We'll
Oh,
look into
we'll
that.
definitely.
I mean, I
be
at
talking
least
about that. Yeah.
like I would at least want to watch like the mini doc maybe in like the torture room or whatever because
Yeah.
like
I mean, okay, well,
maybe that's where the shock shit is.
like
Yeah,
go
maybe.
into it with maybe a group of friends or a few people. Get some popcorn and shit, maybe some drinks, and just kind of go at it. Like it's not the worst,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, it's not the-
like looking at the cover, it's kind of a throwaway. Like you pass
it's
over it at the
definitely,
rental
yeah.
store. but maybe give it a chance.
Actually, another thing saying about the cover: at no point do they wear faces.
Or
No,
since.
they didn't. The cover of this movie is flagrant false advertising.
Yeah, and no, like they're stabbing, but there's at no point like actual like stabbing or killing with big ass knives, and they never wear a face.
That suit's not very well fitted.
No, it's not.
Because
It's
it's
like halfway down
Photoshop.
Yeah, 'cause it's
Well,
not
look,
real.
it's like halfway down his hand.
It's literally like they took a couple like stock image from Google, fucking photoshopped the red dress on this bitch, and then put the faces on there. And like,
So, if I had to pay any more than I did for this, I would have been violently upset.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, paying $3 for this movie, I'm not upset.
Yeah, don't pay any more than you have to.
Yeah.
But give it a shot.
yeah, it's not
Alright.
that bad.
So, that was 2004's Suburban Nightmare. We've
It
finally
was.
talked about this. So, next time, we're going to cover something. We don't have anything set in stone just yet. We have a couple of ideas. You'll find out closer to the time of release.
Get your motherfucking hands off.
There may or may not be some ninja stars and some piano wire involved in this
And
next
it doesn't
film.
even make sense to the actual killer.
Nope.
we should get out of here.
I gotta think of a new line to say. I've been saying that. I feel like
Stop
I'm
it! Stop it! You're literally making it the next thing. You're gonna make Zach have to
let's
buy
wrap
this
it
damn
up.
movie.
I'm totally into buying that movie, man. I'm not kidding. Alright, so that's going to be it from us. Next time, don't forget to, what was the new closer that I made for this? Lock up the shack, load up that double-barreled, and stand your ground, because one day the horde is going to come for us all.
Yeehaw.
I am Zach, my two co-hosts.
Rachel?
Brad.
We will catch you next time.
Zambonies.